Hey, welcome everybody. Hey. I've been watching some of my older videos, kind of critique yourself and kind of see, look, you could do better. It's like, I haven't been bringing the energy lately. I look like worn out and tired. Tired old man with a fake colored goatee. But look, the gray's starting to come back in. So I'm going to have to do another color job. Maybe just shave it off. I don't know. So I'm trying to bring the energy today. Yeah, even though I stayed up past midnight finishing my pop-up book, and I want to say finished my pop-up book. So you know what that means? It's Wraith all the way, baby, straight on through to the end. And we're going to be doing a little bit of that today, along with the this being Monster Month, of course, on Aaron Live, our last second live streams. So I'm going to be doing another monster sketch as well. All of that. And getting out of here before 2 o'clock so I can take my mom to her physical therapy appointment. It's a full day. Let's see who's here. Daniel Russell. Wow, never been the first to show up. And you know what you get for being first in, Daniel? Nothing. But thank you for showing up anyway. Appreciate it. Wow. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. Black Rose Comics. Hail, Aaron. Hey, Black Rose. Thanks for coming in. Prater's here. Prater 7. Black Rose Comics. I see he says, Hail, Comics Kid. I thought we were supposed to say hi, Comics Kid. I thought that was like the new thing. I don't know. I'm so out of touch. Nicholas Gear. Oh. Well, see, Shelly's not even on the show today. Nicholas is just begging for it right out of the chute. No, this is the Aaron show. So let's keep that in mind, shall we? Aaron Live is the title. Okay. It's now see Aaron Louvier. He knows. And this is what you get when you bring the right sort of comments. Joe wants to know what's the subject of the pop-up book. It's Marvel characters. So I did the Avengers and the X-Men. And there was a lot of drawing involved. Tons of characters. Tons. And then you got to do like them in pieces, so it's like sometimes you got to do the back side of them and the front side of them. Anyway, but it'll be cool when it's done because the guy, Matthew Reinhardt, that does the pop-up books, he's like this genius engineer pop-up book guy, and he just does the most elaborate things. They're really, really cool. Okay, whoa, let's see here. I know it, when I look back on these videos after I've done them, I spend a lot of time like over here squinting, reading comments. I gotta somehow sort of, be able to read the comments without looking like I'm reading the comments, but I don't know that I actually can do that. Jeff's hello, Iron Force, Karlov Lopresti. I hope that's just sort of I am a big Karloff fan, so I don't take that as an insult, but I'm hoping that I don't starting to look like Karloff. That wouldn't be great, especially if I was looking more like the Frankenstein monster. That would really not be great. Okay, let's see who else. Let's see who else is here. Kevin Thomas is here. Jeff Stout is here. I'm trying not to smoke. Smoking Wraith. Howdy, Aaron. Howdy, chat. That's awesome. Let's see. Don't feel too bad that shite to mate. I'm not clear what that means, but we'll just pretend it's all positive. Boy, last night on Ethan's show, I about lost my mind when I saw that thing on how bird watching is it was homophobic and no, white supremacy, or I was just like bird watching. What? Oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe it. Garbage Man could be and is considered a monster, but far be it from me to promote my own stuff. I will have to do a garbage man, won't I? But not today. You see, I have to have in my mind before I come on exactly what I want to do, so you know I can just kind of get right into it. Oh no, here we go. Okay, quick Star Trek movie trivia. What Pixar animation was in the original Star Trek cast movies? What Pixar animation was in the original Star Trek cast movies? Well, you're probably talking about, I can only imagine you're talking about the Genesis effect, which was the first, I believe, the first computer animated sequence used in a film. Computer animation is when they showed the Genesis, the video that Kirk was watching and showing to Spock and McCoy, with Carol Marcus doing the introduction, and Spock goes, "Carol Marcus," and Kirk goes, "Yes." And then they showed the Genesis effect, and that was all computer generated animation. So I can only assume that's what you're referring to. And even if I'm not right, I'm going to pretend that I am, because it's my show and I can do that. In true last minute live stream fashion, I forgot to open up my camera settings, but now they're open. Okay, so let's get this camera. I want to show you some stuff. Oops. Of course, using the table that Shelly got for me. Okay, I got to get this situated so we're close on what I want to show you first, because we're going to work on Wraith a little bit first, and then jump into the monster drawing. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good for AJ. Zaid is in house. Hey Zaid, thanks for dropping by. Okay, so let me switch cameras. Enough of this foolishness. Let's get to work. I'm so excited to actually just like have my plate clean. I mean, I do have to do a couple color touches on a guy's cover for him, but it's just they're minor stuff. So I'll squeeze that in sometime this week. But I am full bore Wraith right now, and I'm just thrilled to death. Okay, so you guys remember this page, right? Working a little bit on that. I can't zoom in anymore, so I got to lower the camera, I think, so you can get a little bit tighter on that top panel. Bear with me here. Okay, let's see if that helps at all. Maybe it's tad. I'll show you kind of what, we'll get up here close because I want you to see what I'm doing here line work wise. Again, I'm trying to get a little bit more of an uneven, rougher edge, and I'm doing that with a pen. Uh-oh, the dog's growling. So I'm using a. Well, this is interesting. Cue the dog, right? Aaron's live. The dog's live. Or all right. The problem is we have way too many deliveries on this block. Okay, so I'm using this, and I don't know. We'll see. It's an Artline drawing system, 0.5 for outlining. We'll see. It's a dark pen. It seems to be working okay. But yeah, I mean, I just picked that up. I don't even know where I got this. I think I just picked it up at the art store to see. Let's see if how this works. It works pretty well, but I'm the black on here looks a little flat, a little grayish to me. So I'm a little concerned. Oops, sorry. I'm a little concerned that it may erase. May lose some of that black when I erase. to make sure we can see. Okay, I can't really get any closer, I don't think. Let me see if I do this. That's a little bit better, I think. God, I gotta make sure that autofocus is off. It is. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so basically the way I'm kind of approaching this line work is I'm not trying to do like these necessarily smooth, even strokes. I'll lay down a line and then maybe I'll, you know, do a little rougher sketchiness over the top of the first line. Because I'm trying to create more of a, oh, what do I want to call it? Well, just a rougher line quality that makes us feel more like a dirty Western than a, you know, some slick, super smooth inking approach that I might use on a superhero comic or something like that. And if I have enough guts, I will, I'll try and incorporate this in all my work going forward, because I do think that having a little bit of roughness to the line quality gives it a little bit more energy. You know, I also think trying to play up the angles as opposed to, you know, making everything that real smooth curve. I think that lends to your stuff kind of starting to look more like porcelain, you know, like a real smooth, perfect line gives everything this sort of really kind of artificial feel to it that may look nice in the sense that the line itself looks nice, but the overall effect from the drawing isn't as strong because you're losing some of the energy that was there in the pencils. And by using a pen like this, I'm trying to maintain that energy that is there in the pencils. You know, so instead of drawing every single line like like in the pencils, so that it feels like a finished piece of art in the pencils, I'm leaving some of the line work out in the pencil stage so that I can kind of interpret a little bit more and have a little bit more spontaneity to what I'm doing. Now, I don't think this is a cheat in terms of, you know, the quality or the overall quality of the artwork. You know, like somehow I'm cutting corners or something. I'm just doing more drawing with the pen as opposed to with the pencil in an attempt to create a certain look or effect. The problem with trying to do this with a brush instead of a pen is the brush tends to, because if you don't maintain your control and you get a little loose with it, you can get real heavy lines, and it can look really sloppy, or it can look, if you do it well, you know, with just incredible control, then it can look, you know, overworked, or, you know, as I used to say, you kind of can ink the life out of a drawing by being too precise. So I'm trying to eliminate all those things by using this pen and treating the pen more like a pencil. I'm not going to do the gun right now because my guns reference has not shown up yet, the ones that I bought to use as reference for this. So I have to sort of work around the guns. Oops, sorry. So you can see, especially on the holding lines around the leg, you know, like right in there, that rough spot, and how I'm playing up the angles instead of smoothing it out and making it a real nice controlled curve. So we'll see. We'll see what the overall effect is. I like it right now. I'm hoping that I'll like it just as well as I move along with the comic. Jill wants to know, do you really love the freedom of doing your own project without editors stopping your creativity? Yes, I do. The one thing that I'm not going to bag completely on editors, because if you have a good editor, you know, they will, you know, they'll point out stuff that maybe where you're missing the mark a little bit, or point out something that, you know, you can look at and say, wow, you know what, you're right, I need to improve that, or I need to change that. But most of the time they stay out of your way and only jump in when they need to and see something really that, you know, maybe compositionally wise or storytelling wise, where maybe you've, you know, made a bad choice or something. And then that's always helpful to have that, you know, a trained eye come in and say, you know, this could be a little bit better, kind of thing. You don't get a lot of that today. I remember an artist told me, I won't say who he is because I don't, you know, that's for him to share that information, not me. But I was drawing a page at one of the big two recently, recently within the last, you know, year or so, and drew a bar scene, and basically just drew. It was a small panel, you know, on the page, and it was just, you know, kind of established shot in a bar, and it was like, I think he said he drew like 3 white guys sitting at the bar. Maybe they might even have been in the background, right? Well, the editor contacted him, and she said to him, or the assistant editor said, you know, this is great, but you need to have a little bit more. We'd like to see a little bit more diversity in that bar. And he about lost his mind. He was like, it's one small panel in on a page that probably had, you know, 5 or 6 panels on it. And it was like, that's not editing, you know? And that's the kind of stuff that's really annoying. You know, if he came in and said, you know, that figure work right there doesn't really look good, you should fix it or whatever. But to come in and say, you know, there's too many white guys in the bar, I mean, that's how is that editing? So so anyway, that's my opinion on you know, your editing can be good and it can be bad. Actually, that was Andy Smith going, let me in, I'm drawing. So I'm gonna send him a link so we can get in here and join the fun. If I remember how to do it, my gosh, I haven't. Okay. Bear with me 1 second here. Okay. Ooh, I'm on Facebook, and it shows, like, you know, on your home page where it shows you like something you posted like 3 years ago. This really cool John Carter of Mars. Andy says, send me a link. I'm drawing and bored. All right, so we'll bring Andy in. Let me share this with you real quickly, the screen. Look at that. Aaron, we care about you and your memories you share here. We thought you'd like to look back on this post from 3 years ago. This is out of one of my sketchbooks. It's John Carter Mars piece. So you got Deja Thoris here, of course, looking all Deja Thoris-y. John Carter, and then of course you got a little Tars Tarkas going on there. So that's kind of fun. That was actually one of the cooler pieces I've done. That was way back in 2007 in my sketchbook. So yeah, I hope someday to be like Robert Crumb and like auction off my sketchbooks and, you know, make enough money to buy a house. Yeah, right. But those of you who saw the Crumb, the documentary on Robert Crumb, it was called Crumb. I don't know, what a shock, right? He sold, was it 2 or 3 of his or he traded 2 or 3 of his sketchbooks for a house in France. So that's not, I don't think that would be too shabby. You pull something off like that. That was the weirdest movie. I mean, Robert Crumb, as weird and bizarre as he is, he was like the most normal person in his family, which was really freaky because he is not what I would consider your typical average guy. Oh, there's Andy. All right, let's welcome in Andy Smith. Boom, there he is.
Well, hello. I heard it was a castle that he traded for, not just a house, but like a castle.
Well, it might have been. I don't know. I remember watching that movie.
I'm going to try and position my camera so people can see my board.
But yeah, he traded. Let's just say he traded it for a dwelling in France. Whatever.
There you go.
Ended up being, which is pretty cool if you can, you know, trade books for a house.
Yeah, I do that.
So you working on Horse Man today?
Every day. Yep, I'm working on a new page. Let's see.
You could be doing a commission or something. So.
No, man. It's First Man. Let's see. I'm just trying to get this camera to position properly. Let's see. What the hell? Why is it reversed? That's not right. That's showing my wall.
You say, okay. Send me a link. You're not even prepared.
Well, because I got to make sure how am I supposed to know you're going to actually pay attention? Jeez Louise. Oh, the little thing just, hold on.
This is like a bad Disneyland ride, man. The whole thing is like turning upside down and.
Oh, be quiet. I can't tell because with StreamYard, is that showing my board? Let me see. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
You can't really see what I'm doing, but that's okay. At least I don't know. I don't know how well you can actually see the page.
Well, you can see it. It's at an angle, of course. Can't you zoom in a little bit?
Oh boy, look at you. Yeah. Well, no, I'm on my iPhone.
Oh man, that's almost like. Don't you have a separate camera?
Yeah, but I'm at my actual drawing table. I'm not at my computer.
No, I see.
So, that's good enough. I don't want to give too much away.
That's right.
Exactly. Let's see. What do you think about the old John Gruden stuff?
Okay. Well, first of all, his emails they, I don't know that I would have, they weren't great. Okay, let me put it that way.
No, they weren't great. But
But
is there a time period that they can go by where it's like, yeah, it's been a decade?
yeah, I had a bad moment. It's kind of like I don't really. It's weird because people. Here's the problem: people make you know rude comments or jokes about other people all the time in private, right?
I
Sometimes
mean,
just
I don't.
no, you don't, but a lot of people do. And
Right.
sometimes it's just to get a laugh out of the friend that you're, messaging to or whatever. Um, so for these people to come on and act holier than thou, like they've never said anything that probably was.
That's the thing that drives me crazy. You're you're putting people at like this standard that it's like just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he
You
should be able
know?
to come out and say, "Yeah, that was inappropriate. I was trying to be funny, and it was, I wish I hadn't done it or whatever." Because it's pretty hard to kind of, take someone who's a football coach or and who's works with plenty of black athletes over the years, and no one's ever complained about him,
Right.
and taken a yeah, an inappropriate uh, email for sure,
Sure.
but you should be able to say, okay, yeah, that was dumb, and I shouldn't have done it, and I'm a little more in tune to what's appropriate and what isn't appropriate by today's standards, and then you should just be able to move on.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like I texted was texting with somebody else, and they said, it'd be different if this was like a month ago
Right.
or even in the past year, but a
Right.
decade ago.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how much context is there that you can get from it as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm not
So,
saying that what he did was, that was a good thing or it was okay, but
oh yeah, no,
people, like I said, people make dumb decisions all the time and like regret stuff maybe they said or wrote or whatever. I don't know. I just think it's at some point it's kind of like we kind of addressed that Clapton thing,
right,
and it sounded like, oh my gosh, this guy's just an incredible bigot or racist or whatever. But apparently all those quotes were just from one concert. And he said that, of course, while he was high, and then he said
right,
that, one of, what did he say, a person of color or something had like slapped his wife's butt or something like that right before they went on stage. So he was just really pissed. And so it turned into this sort of uh, racial rant. And that,
right,
and I guess, even if you're high or angry, what's in your heart generally will come out. So I don't know. But, it wasn't like it was a pattern of behavior. It was one
right,
time he did that under circumstances where he was high and had just had a bad experience with, something with his wife.
right.
Um, and he said some stuff he shouldn't have said, but you should be able to apologize and move on from that stuff. Unless it's, a pattern of behavior and that's really who you
Right. And
are.
that's just it. If it's not a pattern of behavior, then, you know, I think you have to look at that. Scott Adams actually has I think it's a 20-year rule where you just don't go back more than 20 years. Now, obviously with Gruden, that wouldn't work. It was 10 years ago, but you
Well,
also take into context what the situation was too.
Well, and what's going on culturally too. It's like trying to go back and say George Washington was this horrible person because he was a slave owner, and that's of course horrible,
Right.
but it doesn't discount every good thing he did. And you also, when you're in a culture where that's going on and you don't think anything of it, and you should have. I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just saying to kind of go back and say that, because somebody did something wrong or was involved in something, that
Yeah.
you can't just cancel the entire person and the history and everything else they did that was good because they happened to do something that was bad or said something that was bad or, you
Right.
know, I don't think, but,
Nope. I hear you, brother. I hear you. So how did Nebraska do this past weekend?
they choked again.
No.
They were up They were up on Michigan going into the fourth quarter. In fact, Michigan tied it at 29-29 with 3 minutes to go. Nebraska got the ball, and they figured, okay, all I have to do is hang on to it long enough, kick a field goal, win the game. It got down to about 2 minutes. They picked up the first down. The quarterback fumbled.
Oh.
Michigan recovered, took it down, kicked a field goal to win the game with no time left.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, it was one of those things that, once again, so close and then yet
so far. That's painful.
It's been very painful every week.
What's their record? Because I mean, I honestly don't follow.
They are 3-4.
Oh my God.
They lost. They went to Oklahoma and lost by a touchdown to the third-ranked Oklahoma. Then they had Michigan State, who's ranked, I think, in the top 10 now, is undefeated. They were at Michigan State. They held them to 0 first downs in the second half and 14 total yards and lost.
Oh my God.
Because they gave up a punt return for a touchdown with about 4 minutes to go in the game. And then went into overtime and lost.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just been one of those things where they look really good, and then they make a couple of dumb mistakes and lose the game.
Well, as you know, my daughter's a Clemson fan, and as far as I remember, as of now, they're not even ranked.
They've had a rough year, but you got a freshman quarterback who hasn't really played much. And
Oh yeah, I know. She knows too. Like, if this was like a year where they were expected to do awesome, she'd be really pissed. But she even knows it's a rebuilding year. So,
yeah. Well, good. Keep it in perspective. When I was young, I used to go crazy when Nebraska.
Oh, trust me, she would too. But we're trying to rein her in and just teach her that, it's rebuilding. So,
AJ Tom says somebody's been listening to a lot of Ben Shapiro. Actually, I don't listen to Ben Shapiro at all. So
he could be talking about me.
That's true. JG Martinez, love the panel of the Wraith holding the gun. Thank you.
Did you get your fake guns, by the way?
They haven't shown up yet, so I can't finish this page because.
What? How? What? How? When are they supposed to show up?
I don't know. I called the guy last week, and I said, "Where are the guns at?" And he goes, "Oh, they ship out on Thursday. That was Thursday of last week. So we'll see. I'm sure they're shipping them ground. So, I haven't really checked to see what their status is, but I'm getting a little.
You don't have SketchUp. Never mind. You don't have that 3D program. Because I was going to say, you could always just go to the SketchUp warehouse and type in whatever type of gun that is, just to see if anything comes up. Then you can just put it at any angle you want.
Oh, 3D warehouse, really? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, but you need to have the SketchUp program.
Oh.
I mean, you can use a free version online, but then what you'd have to do is do a screen capture of it, because like I have it. I paid for it, the yearly subscription.
Mm-hmm.
So I can, I open it on my desktop. I spent last week, I spent the morning designing the whole inside of Luke Henry's house. So his whole house, literally every room in the house is designed. So I can move the camera around it for any scenes inside the house in any room. And then I can export it as a JPEG, so I can just open it up and pop it into the panel. And so I do cars, brother. I don't draw cars anymore.
I hate drawing cars. I don't think there's anything I hate more than drawing cars. And it's
I know,
because drawing cars is generally such a guy thing growing up, But I've never, like I said, I've never been a big tech fan. I've always been sort of organic.
Oh yeah, no, I'm a car guy, but
I don't like drawing.
As soon as I found a better way to do it and not have to actually draw them, I was like, yeah. I mean, you still have to draw some. You got to add details and all that stuff, but the basic shape and windows and all that stuff's there. So.
Yeah, there's a certain, like Michael Golden does a fantastic job of like doing great.
Everything.
Yeah, well, everything. But I mean, especially like his cars or his vehicles or his machinery. But he does it in a way that he gives them character.
Yep.
So it's
Oh,
like
that
it's
GI
not just
man, that GI
absolutely
Joe
wrong.
annual
What's
or
that?
the GI Joe special he
Oh
did,
yeah,
#2.
yeah,
Every car, every vehicle in that is just like animated.
yeah. But it's perfectly, it's right on point. It looks exactly like it should look.
Yep.
Um, okay, so let me explain what I'm doing here real quick. Um,
Sure.
so I'm going to go ahead and like all this area here, we see the X, which we put in there, which basically means to black it in. So I'm going to go in and I'll fill that in with a brush, not right this second. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit of pen work on kind of how I'm approaching this inking the Wraith of God comic. And so you're still going all brush, right?
90%. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still going old school, man. I wanted to get a little grittier.
Well,
And
I've been doing my rendering with a pen for years. Marker, whatever. I
oh,
use the brush for outlining and stuff, not for
okay,
the actual feathering.
right. Oh, okay. Interesting. I don't know. I just fell in love with Danny Mickey's, style, and I can't really do it, but I kind of wanted to emulate that a little bit because I think that's just for the kind of books I'm doing, like with Garbage Man, and then of course with Wraith of God. It's like that stuff is perfect. That style is perfect for. In fact, let me walk over here and see if I can find that. Here it is. This pinup that I had Danny do of Garbage Man for me. Originally, it was going to be a print, and then, well, when I had him do this for me when I'm going to go full screen here for a minute.
Do it.
I was going to have him, when I was trying to crowdfund this originally, this was going to be used prominently, but of course that fell through. So now it's in the Dark Horse edition. I colored this, but I penciled this and Danny inked it. And if you just look
Oh yeah.
at
Oh
this,
yeah. That's good stuff.
yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at the line weights and stuff on his arm here and how chunky that is.
He's pen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
102, I mean.
Yeah, he uses crow quill pen. He dips that stuff in the ink, man. So yeah, he's old school pen inker, but my gosh, there's so much life and energy to that. Look at this cross hatching. Can you even see that in that shadow area right there?
I mean, it's hard to see. If you had a scan of it, you should just pop it in on your screen so people can see it.
Yeah, well, I've got it. I don't know where it's at. It's in some folder somewhere.
So in other words, it's not in a folder called, I don't know, Garbage Man.
Dude, I've got like about 20 folders that say Garbage Man on them, and they're different things, and it's just
Oh my God. No, I literally have like, I didn't think I was that organized, but listening to you, I guess I am, because I literally have a First Man folder, and then you open up that folder and there's volume 1, volume 2, volume, and then inside the volume 2, it's layouts, pencils, inks. Inside the inks folder, it's JPEGs and final test for color.
okay. Well, then you, of course, are more organized than I am.
Wow.
Well,
There are days I'm like, oh man, I need
dude,
to
it
organize
requires it
better.
requires planning, and planning is something that I do not do well. All right, here, let me. I can throw up the. I got the colored version here handy.
Oh yeah, put that up.
So let's take a look at that real quick.
And you colored it, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Okay. Just
I'm not.
checking.
I'm too cheap to pay someone else to do it. I'd
That's
color
true.
this book myself if I could, but I'm so slow that.
People want it before 2050.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, what guys make for
Even if I had the time, I wouldn't color this because coloring just is so boring to me.
Okay, there you go. Look at that line work in there and how chunky that is. And
Oh yeah,
isn't that cool?
that's very cool. Yeah, I mean he's great. He's a guy that I always wanted to have ink something over me on one of my live streams. For it took me about 3 days. I was inking a Spawn pinup that I drew. It never got printed. I just did it for myself
Yeah.
back in 2005. And I've got the pencil somewhere. So that's where I'm not organized, is my originals. I've got the pencil somewhere, but I don't know where. So I just printed it out in blue and inked it on a live stream. But, I penciled it more, in like that Todd Capullo type way, because I would
Right.
love to have seen Danny or hell, even Todd ink it. I like Todd's ink line over people.
Look
It's
at
crunchy.
this detail in the tree. Look at this that I got up there right now, Andy.
Oh yeah,
Look at that stuff, man. That's just awesome.
yeah. Well,
AJ
and that's what
Tom says,
that's what inking is. It's not tracing. It's
yeah, it's
every inker should be able to, leave some type of mark on it, but not overpower to where you go, I don't know who drew that. Like if Neil Adams inked that, it'd be, oh, Neil Adams drew Garbage Man for Aaron. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or Kevin Nolan's the better example.
Right.
And while that's cool, it would still be cooler to me to be able to go, oh yeah, that's Aaron with,
Yes. Is Travaco says, two great artists draw, stream, and talk shop in football. Did I have plans today? But they can wait now.
There
Hey,
you go, Travis. Oops, I outed his
AJ
real
Thompson
name.
says, I was drawing some tech last night on a robot arm and covered all the questionable parts up with loose wires.
There you go.
Not sure. That's a good way to cover up. I'm not sure what this should look like. I'll just put some wires over it.
It works.
Kevin Thomas says, Sean Murphy draws some pretty great vehicles. He does, actually, indeed.
He really does. But I heard he uses SketchUp as well.
Does
Now,
he?
I heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I
See,
heard he does.
maybe I should check this out. I need to make my life a little bit easier if I can. Let me see. There's a couple more here that I want to. Oh, it's Travago again about Danny Mickey's inkings. That's hatching insane. I would have just assumed it was a wash. Holy crap. Yeah, he's nuts.
Yep, he
AJ
is.
wants to know if Aaron, is that colored in the Garbage Man trade paperback or black and white? I think it's both. I'm
Oh,
trying to remember. I can't remember if I used it like twice. I think I did. I think I used it as a black and white, and I think it's in there in color in a gallery section in the trade paperback. I can't remember though. It's been a long time since I looked at those proofs.
when's
Wait a
that
minute.
coming out through Dark Horse? Supposedly.
Yeah, it'll be out on sale in November. I should get my copies sometime this month, but I sold through the campaign.
Oh,
Um,
nice, November. Because I want to get it through. It's actually on my Amazon list.
okay.
So
Eric the Guapo says, "Is that Andy Smith on this stream? The Andy Smith or
it's
Andrew
the,
Smith?
it's
It's
the
him."
Drawn First Man. AJ should be happy every day. He's like, all right, get off this stream and go draw my book. So
That's right. Oh my gosh, it was like I had so much work to do last night, and Ethan's stream went on for like 4.5, 5 hours or something. I was like,
oh,
gotta get out of
the
here.
one time I wish I lived on the West Coast was during an Ethan stream, just because it starts at 3 o'clock your time or 4 o'clock your time. I got off. People probably think I'm joking when I say this. This is no joke at all. If you set a timer from the time that I signed off the computer and was in bed, it would be less than 10 minutes. It was signed off, go in the house, say goodnight to Courtney because she's a late night. She was watching the football game. Still went into overtime. And then I went upstairs, slammed on my my comfortable jams and was in bed. 10 minutes, guaranteed. Within 10 minutes of that stream going down, I was tucked away nicely in bed.
Well, because what was it, like midnight or 1 a.m. or something last night?
No, good Lord. It was 11:30.
Okay, well that's
And the
still.
funny thing is, this is what I love. I love hanging out till after the end credits, you could say, of his stream, because then we see, as he said, he goes, I always like to see who's still hanging around. So it was me, Shane, Malin, and Art.
Man, I had to go to the bathroom, dude. I wasn't hanging around. I had to go.
No, that's fine. I mean, we were literally there for like 3 minutes. Just, hey, that was fun. Yeah, it was. All right, guys. See you next Monday. Okay. All right. Bye. Bye. Good night.
All right. Well, and even though I'm working on Wraith, which is technically, you could say, I guess, well, the Wraith isn't a monster, but I have to draw a monster.
Yeah.
So I'm doing.
I was going to say, how do you pick? How do you pick?
Well, people have been suggesting stuff every stream I do, people suggest. And then I go, oh, that's a good idea. I got to remember that. Oh, that's a good idea. So somebody had suggested a while ago, and I was like, that's a good idea. King Kong.
Oh, that is a good idea.
I'm going to do King Kong today.
Original or 1970s?
Well, well, I don't know that I'm going to necessarily follow the movie pattern at all.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I am just going to draw a big ape. But there's going to be...
Oh, you should draw... See if you remember this from childhood. You should draw Grape Ape.
I do remember Grape Ape, but he wasn't really a monster. He was a friendly ape.
He was a friendly ape.
Those were the good old days, man.
How well can you see that first panel I'm working on? I'm trying to... He's like, welcome to our lab.
Let me now. Do you got? Did you put a blue grid in there, perspective grid, and all that?
I sure did. That's how I start every panel.
Oh my gosh! So how long does it take you to actually do the grid before you start drawing?
Per panel, maybe 10 minutes. I don't find a point. Remember, I got a way to do a grid without finding a perspective point.
Is that like a secret, or do you tell your adoring?
No, it's not. It's not a secret at all. It's kind of hard to explain. It's easier to show. But no, it is not a trade secret at all.
Well, I know ways to cheat, but it's to do a grid on a panel, but it still involves finding a vanishing point and stuff. So,
all right, just for you, Aaron, I'm going to get out a scrap sheet of paper.
Hang on a second. Andy is going to demonstrate how to do a grid, a perspective grid on your page. This is so pay attention, you guys.
All right.
AJ Tom, be careful. If you draw an ape, DC might swipe it for a cover.
Oh, I don't understand that reference.
Oh, you do too.
No, wait. If you draw an ape, DC might
show DC that period in, like, was it the 60s or 70s, where there's like, put a monkey on the cover, it sells better.
All right, so there's your panel. Can you see this? I can't tell.
Yep. You're good.
All right, there's your panel.
Yes.
First and foremost, I'll do it in 2 pencils. I'll first, lightly, when I'm doing the panel, I always just sketch in lightly,
right,
like this, to figure out the perspective, right?
Right.
So this is 3 point.
Okay.
So once I do that, I take my ruler. Let me do another line here. I take my ruler and I do the farthest line down.
Right. The farthest line up.
And then the farthest line up, which would be this one.
Right.
And then I'll extend, if I have to, and I do for this, I'll extend the panel border up and then extend it down.
I know what you're going to do.
And then I take this distance and cut it in half.
Right. And then you keep cutting it in half.
And then I take this distance and cut it in half. And then you connect the dots.
Yep.
And then you do it again.
Yeah, I knew this.
Yeah. And then you do it again.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you do it as many times as you need to for how tight you want the grid.
Right.
And then, because it's
you do this all in blue pencil, of course.
Yeah. Well, my actual page, I do it in blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you cut it in half, and yeah, you just keep
Right.
bisecting it basically.
Right.
And I eyeball everything now. I mean, I'm pretty good at eyeballing the halves,
Right.
unless it's really large. I mean, if it's like a splash page, I might actually get a ruler out. But yeah, I just do this. I mean, look, it's not even taking, and that's a little off, so I'll just adjust it there. And it's not taking that long at all. And now I'm really just eyeballing the halves.
Right.
And then the same, well, let me just do it this way too, just so it's a tighter grid.
Yeah, it's funny because
I think it was Ed McGinnis. I think Ed McGinnis taught me this.
Yeah, I knew how to do this. I remember actually when I was staying at Simonson's house, like in the 90s, and had to was looking for work, he had me come in and talk to his class, and I showed him this technique, and I can't remember where I found it out, but I'd forgotten how to do it. And you just reminded me, okay, that's because I was like, do I create a vanishing point off the page and then just do the two? But yeah, you just create your own vanishing lines and then just keep cutting it in half.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And now there's a different way that I saw John Byrne do it, because his grids are pretty tight. And he said, there's a grid basically.
Yep.
So I mean, that's how I do it for all those panels.
Yep.
Now Byrne said, I'll do another small panel here. He has one of those machines on his desk that has the L shape that has the little twisty thing, you know what I mean, for architecture and stuff.
Yep.
So apparently he'll just basically do that, and then ever so subtly just keep kicking out the lines at the bottom so they're not parallel.
So he just eyeballs the whole thing, basically using that.
Yeah, he just eyeballs the whole damn thing.
Tool or whatever it is called.
Yep. But the problem I would see doing it this way is, if you want to get a real tight perspective, it works better, I think, my way, because you can set up a tight perspective with, a line here and a line there. Now, granted, that point would touch, but if it didn't touch inside the panel, you can just do the halvesies thing.
Well, right. That's the thing, is like any perspective that's comfortable to look at, your vanishing points 9 times out of 10 are a mile off your paper.
Right. Unless you really want to force it.
Right. And so this is a quick way, an easy way to actually get that, what you want it to look like, and get it correct.
Yeah.
Just by cutting it in half. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Andy, for reminding me.
Yeah, you can put it to such great use in that Western. Well, you'll be drawing a Western town at some point, I assume.
Yes, I am.
And this is another thing I explained on a live stream one time, and you probably do this as well. When I draw buildings, if they're clean skyscrapers, I'll ink them with a ruler. Obviously, I'll draw them with a ruler, but I'll ink it with a ruler as well. But if they're like, say, a Western town like you're doing, I'll pencil them with a ruler, but then I'll ink them freehand.
Right.
Because I can ink it freehand good enough over the ruled lines to where the lines will still be nice and straight, but they'll be crusty looking because it's an old town.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to rule it out in blue, and then I'm going to or in pencil, and then just ink it freehand.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
I'd be curious to know if Mignola does that, or if he just sort of eyeballs the whole thing, because his stuff is so loose, yet it's always so accurate. Or at least it feels that way.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. So are you drawing Kong now?
I am.
Nice.
Gonna have him sort of hanging off a cliff here. Have a few.
Oh, you're drawing a full figure?
Yeah, well, I mean, otherwise it's just a monkey head, right? How do you know it's Kong?
Well, what are you going to put in perspective so people can see the size relationship?
Gonna have a few Pteranodons flying around behind him.
Oh, Jesus, that's difficult. I just draw a chick.
It would be a tiny. This is only 9 by 12, so it'd be a tiny little chick, though. See,
Oh, that's true.
let me get rid of this.
Oh my God. See, people are like, "You've been doing this for 30 years. Is anything difficult still?" And I'm like, "Yeah, hands. Hands are difficult still." I thought after so many years I'd just be able to bang these things out, but no.
Isn't it's funny that there's just certain things that are hard to draw, and that doesn't change.
Hands are still the bane of my existence.
Dude, you got 5 fingers on. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's just a.
Well, it's just doing a nice. It's getting the gesture right,
Yeah.
and not trying to draw like just some stock garbage hand, and going, "Oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's telling a story with his hands as well." And that's what it's one reason I really like John Byrne is because I've always thought of Byrne as a strip cartoonist that draws comic books. And what I mean by that is he has everything down to a system. Just like, guys that draw the strip cartoons. It's
Right.
all system.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, this guy's doing this. Well, this is how I draw a hand doing that. So on and so forth. And I think that's one reason he's so fast. Whereas I sit there and I go, oh, he's doing this with his hand, and both hands should be doing different things and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, oh my God.
Well,
what did I
yeah,
do to
mean,
myself?
It is hard not to, get a system down for, okay, if I draw hands this way all the time, or you have 3 different poses or something for the hands, right? That you can kind of just knock it out all the time. But then you catch yourself going, oh, that looks exactly like the hands I drew in the previous panel, and the same gesture. And
Right. Exactly.
we all do that to a certain degree, obviously, but
oh yeah, we all repeat things, but
yeah, you don't want to. You want to have a little bit more in your, shall we say, a few more tricks in your holster than.
Exactly, your repertoire. Is that your phone?
Yes, Josh.
Was that a text?
Yeah, he's.
Oh no, I was just saying that's a definitely. What type is that? An iPhone or what do you have? It is.
Yeah, it's an iPhone.
You can make that so it sounds, I don't know, different.
Yeah, but it's again that requires work. Oh, there it goes again. Well, he's always pointing out good comic book buys for me.
So what's he pointing out now?
Well, okay, the first appearance of Shang-Chi, which is.
And my real question before you answer that is he not working? Good Lord.
He's on his lunch break.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot what time it is there.
Yeah, so the first appearance of Shang-Chi, which of course is Marvel Special Edition number 15, and it's a black cover, Jim Starlin.
Yep.
And it was getting, in 92, was getting up over $2,000.
Holy crap.
Before the movie came out. And since the movie's come out, and it's weird, it's done well at the box office, but doesn't seem to have been all that popular. It doesn't have any lasting effect.
Yeah.
And so he said that Shang-Chi on eBay 92 just sold for $1,200. So it's really come down quite a bit.
Is that one you want or he wants or nobody? Oh, you have it?
I got it for $27 back when we were still at CrossGen.
What condition?
Near mint.
Oh, graded or no?
It's not slab, but it's probably a 9.2.
Nice.
So.
What?
Can you imagine being a sucker who paid that much for that book?
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. You got to be careful, You got to be disciplined when you're buying old comics, man. You got to be disciplined.
Oh, yeah. He's getting married this year, isn't he?
Yep. December.
Wow. How's that planning going?
Well, because we have the governor we're always afraid that they're going to, at any time, could try and shut stuff down because of COVID. So they had to find a a venue that wouldn't listen to the governor if you know, she started mandating no more gatherings and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
So they finally, geez, Josh, you never talks to me this much. He says same thing's probably going to happen for Morbius's first appearance.
Morbius's first appearance is already expensive, I thought.
Yeah, it is, but it really started getting jacked up because of the movie. But I think that movie's not going to be much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, from the funny thing is the quick shots they've shown, the quick shots they've shown of his face, actually, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah,
what he looked like, in the comics.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's a good movie. I mean, I have like no interest in the Venom movies at all.
Oh, we saw it.
What'd you think?
It was okay. If you liked it, the best thing I can say is I liked it. Didn't love it. Hour and 37-minute runtime. So I'm dying to know what they left on the cutting room floor that they couldn't make it a 2-hour movie.
I was going to say that's really short for a superhero movie.
That's really short for any movie in this day and age.
That's true.
So I'm really curious what they left on the cutting room floor. But, if you like the first one, you'll definitely like this one. It's a sequel that holds up to the first one. And Woody Harrelson's great, so.
Yeah, he's getting kind of old though, isn't he?
What's he got to be around our age in between somewhere?
Well,
if he's not in, but he's got to be in between us or your age. No, and I'm not, saying that to be a dick. I'm just saying he's either your age or he's in between.
Well, when was Cheers? Was that in the early 80s, mid 80s?
Mid 80s.
Yeah, so he's probably about my age.
Yeah, it ran into the 90s.
Yeah, so he's probably like late 50s, early 60s at the oldest, but
yeah, I mean, like Natural Born Killers was 91.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter because he's not really like dressing up in a Carnage suit and running around, right? It's all CG anyway, so.
Oh, yeah, totally. So December what? What's the actual date? Or is that not live stream info?
I don't know if it should be or not. I probably won't mention it.
All right. But it's December?
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you excited?
His fiance is really cool. I like her a lot. So, or love her, I guess I should say, right? You got to love your.
Yeah, man. Well, who's more excited, you or Shelly?
Shelly, of course.
Because it's her little boy getting married.
Yeah.
It's like if Samantha finally does, or when she does, whatever, then it's Daddy's little girl.
Yep.
And that's time for you to cry. Like, you're not allowed to cry at his wedding. You know that, right?
I'm going to what?
You're not allowed to cry at Josh's wedding.
I'm not going to cry at Josh's wedding.
No, it's because you're not allowed to.
Well, the thing is, it's like the guy's been out of the house for, 8 years. So it's not like, there's anything's going to change except that now he's got himself a wife and can get on with his adult life now. Have some kids, right.
Whoa! Look at you, pushy grandpa. Man, has some kids. Josh is like, whoa, Dad.
Hey, slow down, man. What are you talking about?
They have because of the COVID and all that garbage going on. Do they have honeymoon plans, or is it something that they're going to go? You know what? Let's put it off until stuff is hopefully, quote unquote, back to normal.
Well, they're doing a really small ceremony for December, and then they're going to have a big kind of reception in the summertime, which a lot of people are doing now, is kind of splitting it up because of dealing with COVID and the numbers and all that kind of stuff, and how many people are allowed depending on where you live, right? So
yep. So in other words, my invitation is summer. All right, I'll book it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Can't come to this one because there's only like 25 people are going to be at this one. They call it an elopement or something.
Are you serious? That's what really?
Yeah, so you rent the venue and it's like they provide limited services because they say, well, this isn't it's either a full blown wedding or it's an elopement package.
Oh my God. We're so old. An elopement.
I know.
The hell. Say man up and just do a real elopement. In other
go
words,
to Vegas, man.
Huh?
Go to Vegas.
That's what my brother did.
Did he really? Was that just to save money, or was he on a binge or something and got a little carried away?
That's what they wanted to do. And they got married on his birthday, I believe. So he'll definitely never forget. Helen has jury duty today. She's not fond of that.
Oh my gosh. I got picked for jury duty I think only twice in my life. And
I got picked once, sat there for 8 hours just to go, yeah, you're good. Go home.
Well, I didn't actually get picked. It was the weirdest thing because we went through the process, right, where they're choosing the jurors and everything.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I went through all that. I sat in the courthouse for 8 hours.
Right.
With a bunch of other people, got into the courtroom, and then they come out and they're like, oh, the lawyers made an agreement. You all can go home. We're like, oh, you bastards.
Well, I was sitting in there and I didn't really want to do it because, as a freelancer, you're kind of like, you got deadlines and stuff. And you're like, I can't spend a week in jury duty and I'll get behind and,
See, I did want to do it.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. I was hoping for something good. Well,
I sat there and we were all in the courtroom and they divided us up. And then, there was still a good number of us, right? And they said, okay. And they gave you a number or whatever. And they said, number this, and they gave us like 20 of us, right? Stand up. And so they called my number and I was like, oh crap, I'm going to get picked. And then they go, okay, you guys can leave. And so it was all the people that were still sitting there were the ones that they used for the, just randomly,
Right.
Monkeys are cool.
You reference that, or can you just do that out of your head?
Well, I did have some reference, but I ended up doing it out of my head and it looked okay. So I'm like, I'm just going to go with it.
God, I hate you. I couldn't draw a monkey out of my head. Or a gorilla, whatever.
Well, it depends. You probably don't draw them as much as I do either.
Nope.
Chimps are harder because they're not as cool looking. And if you draw them the way you're supposed to draw them, they really aren't as cool looking.
Oh.
So I kind of draw chimps with sort of a gorilla type nose, and they're much cooler looking, even though that's not really how they look.
Man, can you believe how awesome that Jusco painting was? He finished with the underwater fighting the crocodile.
That was really nice.
Good Lord. That's how I know he doesn't have ADHD, because if he did, he'd never finish that. Seriously, I have ADHD. I'd never finish that.
Well, it was so well conceived,
Oh, yeah. It's freaking awesome.
I think most of his Tarzan paintings he's done for this series of books have just been fantastic.
I can't believe how many he's done so far.
I know. It's like, I didn't even know there was that many Tarzan books.
It's incredible. It's just incredible how long a career he's had.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he's still sort of like, old school painting,
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody's doing digital now, and it just drives me nuts.
Yeah. Nope. He's old school, and he's got it down to a great system.
I better check the chat here. These guys are going to feel
unwanted.
Yeah. Brohawk is here. Yo, chat. Oh, wait a minute. He says, "Hey, Aaron, why don't you challenge Andy to a drawing contest?" Well, because we've got our own projects right now, David, that we have to do.
And I'd lose.
That's right. Nobody beats me on Dave. See, I said this the other night. I was on Fraga's,
Yeah, you stayed on.
Yeah, and I beat him. And I like to always, reference.
Now, how do you know you beat him? Is that from the chat saying you did?
Yeah,
or?
yeah. I got like 73% of the vote.
Oh,
so
I'm screwed. I'm going on Friday night. I'm screwed. I won't beat him. I know that for a fact. I can't draw fast, man. I can't do it.
I told him, I said, one guy you got to be worried about, I said, in a draw off is David Williams. I said, that guy brings it. Then he said, yeah, I know. He goes, that's why he's not allowed on my show. No. And then he said, no, he said, David can come on anytime. But yeah, he's tough. But he talks trash. He says, I would come in and destroy both these chaps, but that would just be cruel. See, that's the kind of crap I have to take from David.
Is he talking about us?
Oh, he's talking about us.
Oh, damn it. He would. I'm so slow.
He has the one thing that is always tough about doing a contest like that is that coming up with a clever dynamic for your character is really important, because it'll really help it stand out, because you can't really wow people with a ton of detail and stuff because you don't have time.
Yeah, I know.
You got to do something that's really interesting looking. And David always does like a really interesting pose for his character that you're like, ooh, I wish I'd thought of that.
Who'd you guys do? Who'd you do Thursday night?
Always ends up winning out, though.
Who'd you guys do Thursday night? The Demon?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Well, people have been bugging me in my chat. Do the Demon, and so I was like, and somebody had recommended it in his chat. So I said, let's do that, so I can get that over with and move on, because everybody keeps bugging me to do the Demon. So let's do it. It was fun. I mean, anything you start doing Kirby stuff is fun.
Oh yeah, like I said, it turned out fantastic.
And I sold it. So.
Oh, look at that! That night?
No, actually, it was a day or two later. But
what size did you do it?
I was 11 by 14.
See, this is a good test with the way I have my phone, because when I do this Friday night with him, we're both going to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina, at a convention. So I guess he'll be in his hotel room and I'll be in mine. And that's how we'll do it, because we can't really be in the same room.
Right, because you wouldn't be able to.
Well, there'd be feedback with two cameras at the same time.
Right.
So.
Well, you guys are doing a lot of shows.
Not really.
Just that way.
Just seems that way.
There seems to be a lot more going on the East Coast in terms of shows than there is over here on the West Coast. But that's because everybody on the West Coast is still
scared.
Fear of COVID. So
I was about to say, yeah, everybody over there is a bunch of scaredy pants. Well, Shelton Drum's having his giant size Heroes Con November 6th and 7th.
Now, what does that mean? Is that like it's not his regular one, or is it his regular one?
No, it's giant. Oh my God, it's so confused. Giant size mini, I think it's called. I can't remember.
Size mini.
It's Heroes Con's usually 3 days. This is 2 days. That's the difference.
Okay. I love that con, but oh my gosh, it's like I have to fly all the way across country, and it's like I'm so not interested in flying cross country.
Oh, dude, I hear you. But yeah, so he's doing that, and masks are mandatory and all that fun stuff.
Well, I figure that much. David says, Andy, you need to do a book of out of shape people for once.
I could do that. Well, I mean, the 4 people. Look at these 4 people. They're not in shape. They're just normal.
Yeah, they're not fat though.
No, well, the one guy leaning against the wall, he's the heavy of the group. He's got a little bit of a gut.
Okay.
But and then the other guy's basically a young 20s, so he's not going to be huge. And then the other dude, yeah, he's kind of just the lean type dude.
Look at these 4 huge people.
Oh no, they're not huge.
David Brohawk Williams says, Andy, oh, I mean, I just did that one. Joe Bernardo's got my back. Joe Bernardo from Vegas says, Slowhawk, haven't you been beat down from Flash Lopresti enough?
Oh,
See,
damn.
there's some people that support me in this.
Slowhawk? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. They're bringing it today.
Funny thing is, I actually draw normal people faster than I draw heroes. So drawing a book with normal people, like when I did that CUDA stuff that Keith Champagne and I did for heavy metal, the create our own thing, that was all just normal, I mean, the main detective guy, he was like, Ryan Reynolds type when it comes to shape, but he's wearing clothes. So, I mean, I draw that stuff faster. Are you inking already?
Yeah.
God, I hate you.
Well, I mean, it is just a sketch. It's not, just spotting some blacks in here.
Right. Oop, that's too big.
So are you guys big Halloween people, or I can't even remember?
Nope. You mean decoration wise and stuff?
Well, and some people like,
or the neighborhood itself. No, we're not. I don't care about Halloween. I like watching horror movies during the month if I can, but if I can't fit it in, I'm not stressing over it.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
You should watch Squid Game.
That just sounds disgusting.
No, it's not. It's a Korean show, so it's dubbed, but the dubbing's really good. And it's basically this group of people, like 400 some people it starts out with, are in this game, and all the games, there's 6 different games, and all the games are based on kid games. So like the name Squid Game is based on a Korean kid game, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought it sounded to me like it had something to do with raw seafood, and I was like, that sounds gross.
Not at all.
Okay. All right.
It's pretty good, actually. I binged it over the weekend. Oh, what's he barking at?
Everything.
Oh.
No, we just have a ton of delivery trucks come up and down this street, it seems like. And every time a delivery truck comes by, he goes off.
That's why you got to live on a dead end.
Or live out in the middle of nowhere, right?
That'll do it too. But I'll take the dead end for now. The nice thing about dead end is if we're expecting a delivery, since we're like literally a few houses from the dead end, I can hear the truck. So
you can also hear the dog.
I can hear your dog too.
Well, I can only close my door. That's all I can do. And then the rest is...
Your door's closed and that dog's that loud?
Oh my gosh, he's so loud.
He's a small little dog, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a miniature schnauzer.
What's he weighing at?
About 16 pounds.
Oh, the same as that bird from last night.
I know. I was thinking that last night when they... I was like, that bird and my dog would have quite a battle.
They would. You'd kick the shit out of that bird because it's only 6. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that bird's only 16 pounds. I don't give a crap if it has a 7-foot wingspan or not. I'm kicking the crap out of it.
Yeah, but that was a pretty nasty looking beak with some pointy stuff on the end of that beak. So
that's right. But you know what would beat that down? A baseball bat. So.
Did you see that video of that dude that got that alligator pinned up in his trash can?
Oh, yeah.
Reminded me of Florida.
That's where it was.
The good old days.
The good old days when you would pin up alligators in your trash can?
Well, I had snapping turtles. I did that with a cardboard box. Talk about
Oh, I
dangerous.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was 3 houses down from us. Josh comes in and says, "Dad, you got to come check this out." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, what did they find now?" And so I went 2 houses down, and there was this snapping turtle backed up against this guy's garage door, and all the kids in the neighborhood are sitting throwing wood chips at it. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, "You guys, get away from that thing! It'll tear your arm off."
God, I hate this face.
And
See,
so we were out there, and I was like, "God, what should I do?" So I can't remember if I went up to the guy's door or if he just came out that lived there. And we started talking and kind of assessing the situation because they were backed up to like a marsh, right? So the people across the street from our house were all backed up to a wildlife reserve in a
yeah.
marsh. So they were always getting alligators and snakes and stuff like that in their yards and their houses and stuff. Well, we didn't have any of that. And so he comes out and we're talking a little bit, and I said, "Yeah, I'd love to help you out here. Let's see." I got some gloves some pretty heavy duty gloves. I might be able to grab that thing by the hind legs or something. And so then we talked a little bit more. Then he goes, "So are you going to go get those gloves?" And I went, "Oh yeah, sure." So I went to my house, get my gloves, walk back. He's gone back inside.
What?
So the guy that lived there didn't even help me get rid of this stupid snapping turtle that was in his driveway. So
He didn't come back out?
no.
Oh, I would have walked away. It's not my driveway.
Well, there's a bunch of kids there. I didn't want the kids getting,
How big was this turtle?
You know how big those turtles are? And it was like 14 inches probably,
Oh,
maybe a little bigger. I mean, it was good sized. And so I sat there and I looked at it and I was like,
sounds like another reason to have a baseball bat.
well, what I did was when I got home and I got my gloves out of the garage, I was like, what am I thinking? These gloves are not going to protect me from getting my arm bit off. So there was a cardboard box out there, and I grabbed that box and I said, if somehow I can corral that thing into this box. So what I did was I pinned him back against the garage door, and then I scooped the box around underneath him and then flipped it. And so he was like in the box, and I closed the box real quick, right? And I'm lucky that thing didn't like just spring out and take my arm off. But and so then I carried him around the back guy's backyard and dumped it in the drink back there. And the guy never came out of the house, never thanked me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but that was, and so not, maybe a month later, the guy right across the street from me had an alligator in his yard.
Holy crap.
I mean, right across the street. And there was this old Greek guy from Chicago that lived kind of kitty corner from us. And so I'm working, I'm drawing. This was, I think, after CrossGen sort of was, I mean, it was still hanging in there, but I was working at home.
Yeah.
And so the doorbell rings, and I'm like, so I go down there, and it's the Greek guy from across the street. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And it's funny because he was an older guy, so he still had an accent, And he said, "Come here, you got to take a look at this," And I walked out there, and there's this, I don't know, probably 5-6 foot alligator. It wasn't huge, but sitting in the right up against the guy's house, underneath his hedge, right by the front door, right? And so we're sitting there looking at it, trying to kind of assess the situation. And another neighbor comes by, and we're all sort of looking at it. And I could tell where this was going, right? It was like, they're going to expect me to wrangle this thing. And so I just, because I was the youngest guy at that point.
I was about to say, you were the youngest guy, I bet.
And so we're sitting there looking at this thing, and I was like, I am not getting into another snapping turtle situation with a 6 foot alligator. So I just said, we looked at it, and they're like, what do you think we should do? And I said, well, I don't know, but good luck figuring it out. And I left.
I would have been like, call animal control. That's what
I think that's what they ended up doing, was somebody called the critter getter to come out and get it. Because that's
there
a pretty
big
thing in Florida,
Oh, yeah.
course, I don't know who pays for that. Does the city pay for that, or do you have to pay for it?
No, I think the city does. I think if you call, I mean, here it's 311. You would call. You know,
That's
like
true. You guys have
if
gators there too.
no, no, I
You
don't.
have
No, we
gators?
don't. What the hell are you talking about? Where do you think I live? No, for deer. Like if there's a dead deer or something, and you need it, you want to alert somebody to come get it, you could call 311.
I
Gators.
see.
Have gators here.
David Williams wants to know, Andy, is that big muscle guy you're drawing? Is that me?
Is it Aaron or is it David? It's
Is it
David.
David? He wants to know if it.
It is. You can tell by the crotch because there's nothing down there. He's built like. I heard David's built like a GI Joe figure.
And he just asked me, he said, "Hey, Aaron, where's the ape's dingus?" It's covered up with hair, man.
It's like Sasquatch.
PG show.
It's like Sasquatch. I cannot believe how far you are on that thing. I'm so goddamn slow. Jesus.
Apparently, Randy Howell was asking about Bass Reeves in Walmart, and David says, I have no clue what's going on at Walmart and Allegiant Arts concerning that. So apparently some distribution problems there. David says, I wish it were available and easily accessible to everyone around the world. My creator-owned project won't have their problems. Stay tuned. He keeps teasing us with his creator-owned project.
Is he done with Bass Reeves?
No. I don't think he is yet. I think he has one issue to go. Oh my gosh. David Williams says it's tucked between your cheeks, Andy. Oh boy.
How does he know that's what I do when I sit down? I never told anybody that. Only Helen knows that's what I have to do when you're built like me.
I try to run a clean show, and I have you guys on, and it just goes off.
Oh my God. Hey, I kept it clean.
You did. David's the one who was stirring up trouble, really.
Yep. It's almost 5 o'clock here. What time is it? Oh no, it's not. It's only 10 after 4. Never mind.
You wanna? Yeah, it's only 1:09 here. So I was going to ask you, does it bug you to be on East Coast time? But you always lived on East Coast, so you don't do anything different.
Nope, I've never lived West Coast, so.
I used to bug the crap out of me when I was working at CrossGen, and I was still trying to watch the Blazer games when they would come on, and they would start like at 9:30 at night and wouldn't be over till like after midnight. And I was like, I got to get up and go to work tomorrow.
You kidding me? That's one of the few times during football season I would love to live on the West Coast.
Yeah,
because the 1 o'clock game would be at 10. The 4 o'clock game is at 1. The 8 o'clock night game is at 5. Oh my God. I would love that.
Yep. That is the one. Sports are the one real great benefit.
Other than that, when it comes to like prime time stuff that's on at 8 o'clock here, they just bounce it to 8 o'clock there, right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. What about the late night shows? Do they just bounce those? Like, I don't watch any of them, but I assume like the late night stuff is still 11:30 out there as well.
Yep. I guess it's all relative. You get used to it, wherever you live at. That's just how it is.
Do you know that show called The Five on Fox with Greg?
I'm aware of it. I've never watched it.
So is that on at 5 out there, or like not live? Because here it's live.
Are you talking about Gutfield's show?
No, Gutfield's on at 11 at night.
Oh. No, they're all like, they change the time zones so that it's like, if it's on at 8 o'clock there, it's on 8 o'clock here.
Right. Oh, I love Gutfield's show at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I just don't. I honestly, I don't watch that much TV. I really don't. People are always asking me, like people in the chat are asking me. Like recently, there's been a lot of noise about Greg Pak, like blocking a bunch of people, right?
I'm blocked. Don't
Oh,
even
he
know the
blocked
guy.
you?
I don't even know the guy. I'm blocked by Tom Taylor too. I found out today.
Who cares?
No,
But
I don't care.
no, but so someone would say, well, Aaron, what do you think about this Greg Pak stuff? Because I worked with him on Planet Hulk like 15 years ago. I'm like, I don't even know what Greg's doing,
Right.
Because I honestly don't pay attention to that stuff because I go on and post my stuff, and then I maybe look at a couple things that might be high up in my feed, and
Yep.
then I'm off. So I don't really know what people are saying or doing, and I don't really pay attention to it. So it's like people ask me these questions. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a clue. As far as I know, Greg hasn't blocked me. I don't know. I haven't checked.
Oh, see, that would. The only reason I checked is because it was brought up, and I'm like, not brought up like, Andy, you're blocked. It was just like, oh, he's blocking blockchain and whatever. And I was like, oh, let's find out. And I was like, oh yeah.
I have no clue. Stuff. I just don't care. I mean, it's like, dude, I'm working most of the time on something. I got a lot of responsibility around this house with my mom living here, and
Oh, dude, I totally hear you.
and it's just like I just don't spend that much time on social media, and so if someone is blocking people, that's I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess that's their prerogative, right?
Yep.
But I just don't. I don't know. I mean, I have never been all that tuned in, even when I was working full time in mainstream. I never was tuned into what was going on. I never hung out with people at cons other than Terry, and I just I was never a schmoozer.
Nope, I hear you. Neither was I.
And which probably didn't help me. But I was like, I was good friends with Dan DiDio, and he was giving me work all the time, so I didn't worry about it until he got blasted out, and then it was like, oops, the end may be near. But now I wouldn't work there anyway, considering what they're doing with their characters. I just can't even believe it.
Yep, I hear you.
I'd much rather be doing what we're doing.
Yep.
Because that's what we all sort of aspired to do anyway. I mean, most of us did. I mean, you and I talked about this before. It's like, if everything had remained the same, right, and comics hadn't changed, you'd have been perfectly happy, working in mainstream comics and retiring, and having fun. But it's, everything's changed so drastically. It's not fun anymore. And, no one wants to work on those characters because they just totally destroyed them. So it's like, I always dreamt of doing my own stuff when I was a kid anyway, and now I'm finally doing it. So, and I'm drawing King Kong.
I know.
So, what could be better than that?
Exactly.
Because I tried to break into comics like when I was 18. I wasn't good enough, but I tried, and I couldn't get any traction, obviously. And so I was, even back then, was like looking into self-publishing. And
man, I was nowhere good enough at 18. In fact, I posted on Facebook. You know who Tom Morgan is, right?
Yeah.
So are you friends with him? Like, like I'm friends in regards to, we converse on Facebook, but I've never actually talked to him or anything.
I've talked to him in person a couple times, but I haven't seen him in years.
All right. Well, I know his work. So I was going through some comics over the weekend, putting some stuff away, organizing some stuff or whatever. And I come across this book that I bought as a kid called Codename Strike Force. I think it was put out by a company called Spectrum, drawn by Tom Morgan. So I posted it on Facebook, and I tagged him. He drew it as a teenager, and I was like, oh. I was like, my stuff didn't look like that when I was a teenager. That's for
So
sure.
you're saying it was pretty good stuff?
Yes. Next time you're on Facebook, if you remember, go to my page.
Okay.
And it should be one of the top posts. And you'll see the cover, at least, none of the interiors, but you'll see the cover. And I'm like, yeah, my stuff didn't look like that when I was a teenager.
Well, hopefully David Williams is not still in the chat when I say this, but that guy, him and Jerome Moore too. Oh my gosh, Jerome's stuff when he was like in 17 and 18,
Yeah,
unbelievably good. And David's stuff was really good when he was young too. I don't know what happened since then, but no, I'm kidding. But his stuff was really good. Yeah, and oh my gosh, I didn't even get reasonably good till I was in my late 20s. It was like it took me forever to figure it out.
I'm still working on that, getting to reasonably good. So
yeah, I know. I didn't.
I'll get there. Well, I was going through. I have a whole issue of photocopies of an issue of Green Lantern that Gil Kane did Well, he did full art, but I've got photocopies of his breakdowns for the whole issue.
Yeah.
And it's all just really good figure construction and stuff. And the backgrounds are just loosely sketched in. And I remember reading an interview with Gil where he said he didn't feel like he really came into his own until he was in his late 40s.
Which would have been what era? Like in the 70s?
No, it was at the time of that issue of Green Lantern. Green Lantern came out and, well, yeah, late 40s would have been 70s. He was 43 with that issue of Green Lantern I was showing.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's when he was doing all those great covers for Marvel.
Yep.
And I mean, I liked his stuff, his earlier DC stuff, but it wasn't nearly as spectacular as the stuff he did for Marvel in the 70s. I mean, he was almost doing every cover for them.
The guy did over 1,000 covers in his career, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was something ridiculous like that because it was just like every freaking
over 1,000. I can't even fathom that.
I know.
I mean, I can't fathom just the amount of pages that somebody like John Byrne has drawn, not even mentioning Jack Kirby and stuff.
Well, if you look at, let's say Gil Kane was, probably, when did he do Green Lantern? When was Green Lantern #1 come out?
Wasn't it 1960?
It was right. Yeah, it was early. And he worked on that, right? Because he did the Atom and he did all that stuff.
Yeah, he was born in. He was 34 when he did it because he was born in 26. Because I looked it up yesterday.
Okay, so he goes from 1960 to 1980. Let's say were his prime years. So he had 20 years in there, and in that 20 years, he does 1,000 covers. So that's like what, 50 a year?
Oh my God, that's insane. That's crazy. Plus, he was doing interiors.
Yeah, I know. His Spider-Man stuff was so good.
Oh man, that artist edition's great.
Oh, I know. Is there a Gil Kane Spider-Man or just a Gil Kane artist edition?
No, it's Gil Kane Spider-Man.
Oh, geez. See, I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to go check that out.
You know what I just ordered? I didn't even know it was out. So you know the difference between the artist and the artisan editions, right? The artisans are the smaller ones; they're only $40.
Sure, if you say so.
All right.
No, I didn't know there was two different things.
So the artist edition is the full size 11x17, right? And those are the ones that are like $150 or more. Well, they also put out an artisan edition, which is roughly 12 inches high, 12, 13 inches high, something like that. So obviously smaller, but it's the exact same book, just that size, but it's only $40.
Okay.
So it still reprints all the stuff in full color, the pages, they're just not full size. So I have the David Mazzucchelli one on Daredevil. I've got the Simonson Thor. I've got the Jack Kirby Fantastic Four one. Well, one that's out that I didn't know about, I just ordered the Steranko Shield.
Oh, yeah.
So I just ordered that because $40.
Now, this is by IDW or somebody else? They're doing these smaller ones.
No, it's IDW.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah,
Take a look at that.
$40, man. I was like, oh hell yeah, Steranko shield sold.
I must address the chat here for a moment.
Please do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this eye.
But Quoth the Raven says 311 doesn't work to get the deer off the road, at least not in Columbia, South Carolina. So
Oh,
there you go. Planet Hulk was. Oh, wait a minute here. Planet Hulk was awesome, but I have no interest in Amadeus Cho. I'm Asian, but I want Bruce Banner Hulk. No, I don't think Greg has blocked me, but I would have to check. Okay, so he doesn't like the Asian Hulk, but he wants. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like those of us who grew up on certain characters. When you try to even if you try to rebrand them for non-political reasons, but just to do it,
right.
It doesn't feel as good because you like the old ones that you remember as a kid.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. AJ Tom says Aaron doesn't care about people who act petty. We should all follow his lead. Indeed, you should, AJ. Don't bother with petty people. It's not worth it.
Unless it's Tom Petty.
Unless it's Tom Petty, then you should bother with it. Leg Kick says I'm blocked by Greg Pak, and I don't even know who he is.
Oh man.
Oh, look at this. David Williams says I was 16 when I got my first work. Can you believe that?
I hate you. I hate you.
I know. Randy Howell says really liked Gil Kane's John Carter. I love that series.
So do I.
It. And Nebray's inked that.
Oh yeah. So, not all of it, but I tell you what, man, when Dave Cockrum inked some of those covers, I believe those were nice.
Yeah, well, Dave, I think Dave drew. It was issue 11 had the Deja Thoris kind of pinup cover.
Yep,
that was Cockrum drew that and inked it.
The cover or the inside?
The cover.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he did the insides. I have to go check, but I don't think so. AJ Tom says he wants to know if you ordered that Brian Boland book yet.
Not yet. And I have very good reason why I haven't.
Are you going to share that reason or no?
Yeah, I can get it from my local store for the same discount, and there's no shipping involved.
There you go.
Now, if the discount was better from the site, I would have for sure. But when I saw the discount, I was like, well, that's the discount I get from my local shop anyhow. So
D. Barry says, badass Kong, Aaron. How about that? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It is. He's ripped. That Kong has like no body fat.
No, he's living in the jungle. He's always on the move.
It's true.
He's on Graham Nolan's diet, that caveman diet or whatever it's called.
Keto. By the way, did you see the Tarzan that came out a couple years ago with Skarsgård as Tarzan?
Yeah, I did see that. That was a Dark Horse produced film.
It was?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they made that while they had the license for the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, I'm sick of Samuel L. Jackson being in absolutely every single movie, but other than that, yeah, I was fine with it. I mean, it wasn't brilliant, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Dude, when he was on the train and he was jacking those guys up to the ceiling, beating them up and stuff, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome.
It was kind of comic booky, right?
Oh, totally. I mean, dude, I don't give a crap, Tarzan or not, even in the Joe Kubert, John Buscema stuff. It doesn't matter if you're raised by apes. You're not going to be able to fight a gorilla.
No.
But who cares? Because it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, man, if I'm raised by lions, if I can make it to adulthood being raised by lions, guess what? I'm not going to be able to kick a lion's ass.
That's right.
Now, if I'm raised by kitty cats, those cats are screwed.
Yeah, that's right. Then you can get your revenge. But
if I'm raised by a mini, what do you have? A mini what?
Schnauzer.
If I'm raised by a pack of mini schnauzers, those dogs are in for a whooping. I will become the leader of that pack.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be like, I I knew he didn't look like us, but Jesus, we're not that big.
It's like, this guy's going to crush us. We should have ate him while we had the chance.
Exactly. I told you when he was born, we should have just eaten his face off. He was small. He was literally smaller than us. We're 16 pounds. That thing was like 6 pounds when we found it in the dumpster. I told you we should have ate it. Now he's 200 pounds and he's pissed.
Oh man, this actually is a pretty good King Kong, if I do say so myself.
Dude, it's really cool. I can't wait till I get it in the mail.
That's one thing. I got to work on my generosity. I'm like, everything's for sale. I don't give anything away.
I know. Josh tells me he comes up for fatherly advice, and you're like, by the time after you're done giving it, you give him a bill.
Yeah, I'm like Lucy that way.
That's what I was going to say. You're like Lucy. It's like, you got your hand out, and he's like, what's up, Dad? Here, high five. You're like, no.
It's like, give me the cash, man.
Nothing in life is free, Josh. That advice doesn't come
free. Learning that, kid.
You know what counselors get? Counselors make over $100 an hour. I'm charging you 30. You're getting a deal. Now shut up and pay up. Plus, I know what you do for a living.
Oh man. Well, I will say this: it's nice to have at least one of my kids that I don't have to worry about money wise.
Well, that's because she's in college still.
Well, yeah, but she's taking art and dance. So.
Oh God. So you hope she marries well?
Yeah, exactly. Go meet a doctor. Go hang around the medical building and see.
Hang around the medical building.
But yeah, Josh is an engineer, so he.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good to go.
Watching it, he's like picking up. He bought this. He buys like these really expensive comics. And he's like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" I'm like, "Arr."
Give me an example if you don't mind.
Okay. He just picked up a near mint copy of. It was Strange Tales, an older one. I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it was the first Loki crossover with Doctor Strange. So I think it was 1965-ish.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, it was a 9.2. I think it was like, I don't know, he paid $800 for it or something.
No way.
Yeah.
God, now I hate your son.
Oh, yeah, he does that all the time. And he's like, yeah, what do you think of this? I'm like, give me that.
Man.
Like, you just wait till you have kids, buddy, and then you can't buy that stuff anymore.
Is that Kirby, I take it?
Yep. And Ditko.
Right. Who in Kirby, though? Was it Chick Stone?
It's sealed up, man. I don't know.
Well, I just thought with your vast knowledge, you would know these things.
Well, I'm not as old as Graham, so it's like Strange Tales. That would have it would have had to have been Chick Stone, don't you think? Back like in '60.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been. I don't think it would have been Vinny yet.
No, what? No, because I don't think Coletta only inked him on Thor, right?
Yeah,
and that was like later in the Journey into Mystery stuff. It wasn't like really early on. I hope for all our sakes it was a Chick Stone and not Vinny.
I don't mind what Vinny did on Thor.
I don't either, but it's still not great.
Yeah.
And I can say that now because I don't have to worry about Vinny, like, taking me out or anything.
Nope. Even though I will say Tomorrow's put a good biography out on him called.
Did they?
Yeah, on Vinny, called, I think it's called The Thin Black Line, maybe. That dude, man, have you ever seen a picture where he lived, his house and stuff?
No.
It was like a freaking estate with a big pool and.
Well, he didn't get that from comics.
Lots of acreage and stuff. I mean, it's just like, good Lord.
Yeah, but he didn't. That's not something he earned by working in comics.
Here, hold on. I'll go get it because I know exactly where it is on my bookshelf.
All right. So everybody stay tuned for, oops, sorry, I'm doing some noodling on the rocks here and I don't even have it on screen, but.
How dare you not have it on screen?
Well, I'm close up here so that everybody can see the more detailed work, and then I work off the camera and I don't even know it. Kind of doing like a really sort of dollar store Wrightson on the rocks back here.
Isn't that your nickname, Dollar Store Ryson? I gotta make humor while I find the book. I got it.
Oh man, that's pretty good though, man. That is really good. I like that.
The next live stream you need to do Aaron Dollar Store Ryson Lepretsky in your StreamYard thing.
Yeah, if I remember, I will. That's funny.
All right, here it is.
All right, the thin black line with Vince Coletta.
It's comic book size, which is one thing I actually like about it. I don't know why Tomorrow's does these different sizes, but I haven't read this in years. This came out in, look at that portrait by Mike Netzer of Vinny.
Whatever happened to Mike Nasser?
Who knows?
Was that the guy that changed his name?
Yeah. Oh, this came out in 2010, so 11 years ago. Let me see if I'm finding the thing of his house. This is a really good read. I love these books. I've got so many of Tomorrow's books like this. The Reed Crandall one they put out's really good.
Yeah, I think I've got that stuffed over there in my bookshelf and I haven't read it yet. I did read. Did they do the Mac Rayboy one, or was that somebody else?
No, they did. Dude, can you see that picture of the downshot of the house?
Holy smokes! Are you kidding me?
Pool cabana. Look at that place.
Dude, he did not. Where did he get the money to buy that?
I don't know.
Maybe
so
he was a mobster.
It says showing the pool and cabana where Vince often inked pages. It was in Saddle River. It was on 4 acres. It had, check this out. I'm just reading this. The house had everything. Franklin Coletta recalled. I assume that's his son.
Yeah.
Swimming pool, cabanas, clay tennis courts, huge patios, landscaping galore. Coletta bought the place around 1962, and the family lived there for about 25 years. According to public records, the home's tax value today, so this is 2010, is $3,589,000.
Well, kids, you don't earn that kind of money doing comics. So,
well, in 1962, who knows? Dude, I actually thought this job he inked over Neil Adams and Brave and the Bold was kind of neat.
What issue is that?
81.
Who's the guest star though?
Oh, geez. Oh,
it's just the one page.
Yeah, it just shows the one page. I mean, I have the issue. I just don't know.
I don't remember who was in it. I'm trying to remember.
Flash? I think it might have been the Flash.
Vinny Coletta inked that, huh? I'm going to crack that open. I got that copy, but I don't have. It's not slabbed or anything, so I'm going to crack that open. I didn't realize that.
Dude, I got to reread this book now that I got it out. I'll have to show that to Fragga too. Fragga loves that stuff just like I do.
Interesting.
I've got 4 Batman trade paperbacks next to my desk that are all black and white. I'll show you one of them. Hold on. And it has that issue in it. Have you ever seen these? Oh, you're not.
No.
These are black and white.
No kidding. How old are those?
1990. There's 4 of them. I love these.
Now, what's in there?
This collects.
Is it the Detective or Batman, or is it Brave and the Bold, or is it just random Neil Adams Batman stuff?
No, I'm looking for the table. I'm looking. This one collects Brave and the Bold 79, Brave and the Bold 81. So the one we were just looking at, Brave and the Bold 82, Brave and the Bold 83 is this one.
Huh. Because I have those color ones that DC came out with, recently.
Oh, yeah, I got those too.
But black and white would be really interesting to look at.
Oh man, like I said, there's 4 of them. Yeah, it's the Flash that's in the one that
Yeah.
Vinny inked.
Yeah, I can see the cover in my head, but I had no idea that Coletta inked that.
That's the one thing they don't show the cover, but this is the opening page. Batman and Flash, and but Bork can hurt you. Bork.
Well, but Coletta had that sort of kind of sketchy line quality that would work over Adams.
Now I'll show you. Now I'll show you all of them. So this is one of them. This is all black and white stuff. That's another one. And then that's the 4th one.
Huh. Who printed those or published those?
Titan.
Oh, interesting.
So they came out in the UK.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm done. Huh?
You like Olivia Kilpeel stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen this book, The House of M, black and white edition by Panini?
No.
It's I had to pay. It's from France, so I can't read it. Let me see. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, it's all in French, but it's all black and white, the whole House of M, and it's oversized.
Oh, cool.
Love this stuff.
Where'd you find that? Stuart Ings or someplace?
No, I literally went to Panini's website, and then with Google, I did Google Translate so I could check out. Somebody posted it on Facebook, and I was like, just like you, where'd you get that? And they said Panini's website, and I was like, thank you. Went there and ordered it up.
Awesome. AJ says, Aaron was taught by Neil Adams. Pay me. There must be some sort of bet going on in here. Let's see. Well, Neil Adams was one of my major influences growing up. That, Frazetta and Wrightson, and some Stranko too.
Yep.
David Williams says pimps never put their product on sale.
I think your What If issue or your Deadpool flashback issue is actually shot up in value, by the way.
Oh, it might have, just because of its being Deadpool.
Yeah. Because
That
I
would
think
be
I saw it on the back wall at a convention. I was like, I've got that. So I went home. It was like, I need to put that in a bag and board. So I did. And it's still in nice shape. So
let's see. Louis Brightraven says, technically, I got my first comics work, newspaper strip, political cartooning counts at age 13. Well, how about that, man?
wow.
Joe Bernardo wants me to do Bela Lugosi Dracula. Unfortunately, Joe, I hate Bela Lugosi as Dracula.
Oh man.
I know.
Not that I'm a huge fan, but I thought all good monster people liked him.
No, I've never been a Lugosi fan. I'm a huge Karloff fan, but not a Lugosi fan.
So then what Dracula do you like?
Huh?
What Dracula do you like?
None of them. I hate Dracula.
What Aaron meant to say, just for the chat, is Tom Cruise.
Well, okay, how about...
Uh-oh, I hear plastic.
Yeah, I did a book cover for some guy in what country is this?
I don't know.
I can't remember. It doesn't look like French. Oh yeah, it is French. I need really. So I did an oil painting of
oh damn,
of Bela Lugosi. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Dusty in here. Okay, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
That was an oil painting I did like 20 years ago, maybe.
Who drew it? The inside.
Oh, it's just the novelization.
Oh.
So this is 2005, yeah, so 16 years ago. But I don't understand why they printed it so small. Look how much dead space is on that cover.
I know.
It's like, dude,
it's just the design that you don't understand.
I don't understand it at all. But anyway, so I did a series of paintings. I did Lon Chaney as a Wolfman,
Oh,
Bela
cool.
Lugosi as Dracula, and Karloff as Frankenstein for this one collector. Like back then, when I was really doing a lot of oil painting and trying to figure that all out. So
Let me guess. You sold that original.
yeah, this for this guy specifically, for this collector who was like asking for these, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Oh, nice. How big was it?
I can't tell you what I charged for it. I don't even remember.
How big was the original?
I think they were on 11 by 14. You know those canvas boards you can buy?
Oh, yeah.
I think they were 11 by 14 or somewhere in that neighborhood. I also did a Xena one.
Oh, cool.
I'd have to dig it out. I got the scan someplace, and when I was working on Xena, and because there was a lot of Xena fans are like kind of like Wonder Woman fans are like just ravenous. They'll buy anything you got.
I would like, would you draw me a Vampirella, please?
Yeah, she's too saucy, man.
That's not why you won't draw her.
Why won't I draw her?
I thought you wouldn't draw her because it's Vampirella. Is it because of the costume?
Well, why wouldn't I draw her? Because he's vampire. I mean, I don't understand your logic. Why would?
Well, no, I thought you said one time because of, I don't know. I totally heard wrong. Just ignore me. But you won't draw Vampirella, or you will?
No, I won't anymore.
Oh, you have before?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There's too many. Well, not for the comic, just like in sketches or whatever.
Right. That's what I meant.
I was trying to eliminate some of the pervs from coming to my tables at Comic Cons.
Oh,
you know, the guys are like, hey, can you draw a Batgirl stripping and things like that? It was like, so I just kind of got away from all the saucy, overly saucy babe stuff, so I wouldn't have to deal with it anymore.
I'll show you a nice, hold on. This is a nice Bud Root page. I don't know what it was for. It's just, it's a color copy, but I just loved it because, you know, Bud did a page where there's no nudity on it.
Well, he's got a big old butt there.
Oh, well, you know, him and Frank Cho, they get it going on.
Yep.
But I love the face in this panel. That close-up's really nice.
Really cute. What's that for?
I can't remember what it was for. And his lettering, man. His hand lettering is really nice, too.
Oh, yeah, it is. He did that? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Look at that face. That's just really nice.
Yeah, it's really cute. Yeah.
So, nice little color copy I got. But
Danky Frankie says the 30s movie is not great. A great performance by Lugosi, but not a great movie. Comes off like a stage play. Well, it's true. Back then, and like,
well, a lot of movies back then did.
Yeah, because they came right out of silent movies into sound, and they were still, all those people came off the stage. The directors and stuff were actors, were all stage performers, and so they were filming basically stage plays, and took a while.
Totally.
For, you know, some more creative guys to get in there and kind of spice things up. Oh, wait a minute here. Someone suggests that Istravaco says, wasn't a lot of the Kirby stuff in Strange Tales inked by Dick Ayers? You know, I think
maybe
that's actually, you might be right on the money with that now that I think about it.
Yeah.
That might be correct.
Good catch. Good call. I mean, how many, well, wait, I'll wait till you're done reading chats before I ask a question.
Okay. J-Dog says, oh, the pervs will still come.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Danky Frankie's like, guess can't go to Aaron's table. And of course, Statistical Zero says it was the adaptation of the stage play. You are correct. Randy Howell says, Aaron, how about the Living Mummy from Supernatural Thrillers? That would be a good draw. I love the Living Mummy. I had a story where Kitty Pryde teamed up with the Living Mummy. Never got to do that either.
Time to change that name to Kit Carter teams up with the Living Mummy.
That's right.
As long as there was no phasing involved.
That's true. No, she was because David. Uh, who was the guy that wrote the Hulk when
Peter David.
Peter David had established her as Jewish, right? So I thought,
Yeah.
well, what if she went back to the Middle East to kind of trace her heritage, and she was like following the, sort of like the path of Moses and all this kind of stuff, right? And she comes
Yep.
across these pyramids and comes across the living mummy, and then there's this like, I can't remember exactly what the story was now, but they kind of had to team up to defeat this villain, and so I thought that's good quality fun right there. That's good comics.
It is. I didn't know he established her as Jewish. Chris Claremont didn't.
Well, there was this period of time where Peter David was like making everybody Jewish, if you remember. It seemed like because he's Jewish,
Right.
but I don't know. Claremont may have. I have no idea. I never read that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, I am done, and I'm going to have to roll out of here.
All right. So last question, real quick.
Yep.
How many slab books does Josh own?
Oh, not. I mean, I have like 30. He has.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah, I don't know. He probably has. Well, he might have 15 or 20 at this point.
Oh, damn.
Because he collects Spider-Man appearances and things like that, and he gets everything. He gets everything slab because he doesn't trust, grading, which I don't blame him.
Wait, what do you? Oh, when he buys it, he gets it slab, so he has an official grade.
Right. Well, he buys books that are already slabbed because you buy ones that aren't slabbed, and then you get them slabbed later, and they never end up being what you thought they were.
Oh, right. But doesn't he want to be? Does he have copies that he can read or no?
Oh, he reads the essentials.
Oh, so he does. So almost every book slab he has a actual somehow to read it.
Yeah, oh yeah. He buys and reads the essentials like crazy. He loves that stuff, the old stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he doesn't buy new books at all.
Damn it. There was one other thing I was going to ask you that I thought of from that, but I can't remember. So it doesn't matter.
That's all right. I'm sharing my King Kong right now.
Oh, let me see. Oh, full screen it.
All right. I guess I could do that, couldn't I?
You could. Aaron does a full freaking black and white King Kong. I barely got this page ready to ink. I hate you. I slow down immensely though when I draw and talk, but
yeah, it's tough to talk and draw at the same time. You get distracted so easily. But there it is, man.
That's nice.
Thank you very much. That's today's monster.
$10 confirmed.
Oh, wow. How could I not take that? I think I can not take that.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Oh, look at this. Yes. Okay. Statistical Zero jumps in and answers the question the way I should have answered it when you asked me who my favorite Dracula was. Max Schreck is the best Dracula because he doesn't have a romance angle. Yeah, because he's an ugly, creepy, scary-looking monster Dracula.
Oh, is that the real old school, real like fanged
Nosferatu?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
was that before or after Bela who played him? Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, Bela Lugosi was 1931, 30 or 31, and Nosferatu was 21, I think. So he's at least 10 years prior.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Estravaco says, appreciate you guys both giving a free masterclass here today. You guys are all awesome. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you
buddy.
Tuning in, man.
Yep. I appreciate it. So
Randy Howell gives us the thumbs up.
Nice.
Leg Kick says, pervs, just look at the so-called comic industry now.
Yeah.
Oh. It was 1922 was Nosferatu, so I was close.
Wow. Almost 100 years ago.
Thank you. Frankie wants to know, Willem Dafoe or Max Schreck? Actually, you know what? Oh, shoot. Who's the guy that, the actor, that really creepy, weird German actor that is in Agira, Wrath of God, and all the, oh my gosh, both their names, just the director, famous German director, he always uses him, Klaus Kinski. They did a Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski as Nosferatu, and that was one creepy looking character, man. So that I would rate him actually. I'd go just for creepiness. I would go Klaus Kinski as Nosferatu, Max Schreck, and then Willem Dafoe third. Although Dafoe was pretty creepy too.
When was he not? When was he? Wait, when the hell was he? Dracula.
Werner Herzog's the director I was trying to think of.
When was
There's a movie called Shadow of the Vampire, which is like a fictional retelling of the filming of Nosferatu, the original silent movie. And
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They play it. They like he's actually really a vampire.
Right. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Who's the lead? Who's the female lead? There had to be one.
Nobody that I can't remember.
Oh.
Wasn't important because she wasn't really all that. She was an actress that they all hated, and so they let Nosferatu like feed on her in the final scene of the movie, so she died.
Oh, nice.
It was a very black comedy, but it was actually pretty good.
Very nice. Very nice.
Randy Howell says George Hamilton, the only vampire with a tan. That was actually a good movie too. I like that.
Oh, I remember that. What was it called? I do remember it. I just can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, Richard Benjamin played the.
And is he dead?
No, he was just on. Somebody was just telling me he was on somebody's podcast not too long ago.
Oh, cool.
Him and Paula Prentice, who's his wife, are both still alive. He said they're both really old though. Like
wait, why do I know that name? What is she from?
She just has a really good name, but I can't think of any big. She was an actress for years, but I can't think of any really big
TV show or movie.
Movie.
God, I seem to recall her name for TV. I'll have to look it up.
In TV stuff too, but she.
What's her name? Huh?
Love at First Bite is a George Hamilton movie.
That's it. Oh man, I remember.
And Susan St. James was the love interest. Isn't that her name? The one that was in with that TV show with McMillan and wife with Rock Hudson? Was that Susan St. James?
That sounds right.
Yeah, well, she was the actress or the co-star. And Richard Benjamin was like in love with her, but she really wasn't in love with him. and he was like a descendant of Van Helsing, I think, or something. And he's that was a funny movie. Anyway. All right. Don't forget Eddie Murphy, Vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm forgetting it.
Oh, come on now. It's Eddie. Eddie, why do you do this to me, Eddie? From his stand-up special where he was acting like his wife.
Oh, man. All right. So I got to rock and roll because I got to go take Grandma to her physical therapy appointment. So, Andy, thank you for joining us. And remember, you guys, Andy's First Man, what's it called?
Part 2, Learning Curve.
Learning Curve is still available in demand on Indiegogo, so check that out. I don't have a link. I apologize. I wasn't expecting it at the end. I would have put one in there. You can also back Wraith of God, which is also in demand.
That's right
now, and it's on Indiegogo, and the link is in the description of this video. So thank you all for joining us, and you know what? I'll probably be back tomorrow with another monster drawing, and who knows what it'll be. Maybe it'll be the Living Mummy. We'll see. Have a good day, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.